Hi there, this is Jen, and thanks for joining me today. Today I am doing a little bit of watercoloring with some Catherine Pooler dye inks, and I am using the super adorable stamp. This is a 4x4 stamp set, and it's by the Rabbit Hole Designs, and it's called Rory Caffeinated Racoon, and it is just so super adorable. So it's got a few sentiments, and then the raccoon holding a cup, as well as a heart stamp. I will also be using a stencil from the Rabbit Hole Designs, and the stencil is a 6x6 stencil, and it's called Pinwheel. I purchased both of these from the Not Too Shabby shop, so I will go ahead and leave links below if you're interested. So I'm taking a piece of Bristol Smooth cardstock, and I am stamping up that image using some VersaFine black ink. And then the Catherine Pooler inks that I'm going to be using to start out with are Daydream and Aquatini. A Daydream is one of my favorite colors in the Catherine Pooler line, as well as Sangria, which is kind of a maroony color, and I will be using that as well. I'm just going to show a little bit of the watercoloring, and basically it's the same as when I watercolor with my markers, and that is basically going in and trying to put a darker line along the outsides and in the areas where I think there's a shadow, and so I try and I put that line down first and then go in with my brush wet and pull out that color towards the center. And for the most part, I always try and build up my layers of color, and so I will go in with a first coat and then just build on top of that to get a little more depth and dimension. But I do also go in and use my colored pencils after I have watercolored. And I don't show the colored pencil coloring in this video, but I will show you the difference between the finished watercolor image and what colored pencils can do as far as adding a little bit more definition to your watercolored images. And then next I'm going to take the Catherine Pooler color Blackjack and do around the eyes as well as the stripes in the tail. And so I'm basically just going in and doing the same thing as far as taking the darkest color towards kind of the center, or not the center, the corners or the outside of that eye area, and then doing a little bit of shadow underneath the actual eye. I do take a black colored pencil and go around that very, very outside line right there, as well as for the eyebrows and the eyelashes. And then for the black portion on the actual portion of the eye, I use a black Posca paint pen. And then for the little cup, I'm using a Sangria color, which is one of my favorite colors. And then here, image is about finished as far as the watercoloring goes. And then this is what it looks like with the addition of the colored pencil. So it really does add a lot more definition and depth, I think, to the image. And now I'm working on the background, and for the background I am using a piece of Hammermill cardstock, and the color that I put down first is the Sandcastle and Catherine Pooler, and then I will tape the stencil over that panel and go in with the Sangria. And so I'm just taking my blending brush and going over that stencil. I really love the combination of these two colors, kind of like an antique linen almost, and a maroon or a pink or even a red color. I just that tan and kind of a red hue, I think is really pretty together. And then I'm going to take a little bit of that ink that was left over on my kind of swatch pad and do a little bit of paint splatter. And when I got the stencil and I was going to get ready to make this card, I knew I wanted to cut some of these circles out. And luckily I had this waffle flower nested circles dies that had a little circle die that fit the stencil perfectly. So I went ahead and cut several circles out, and then I am taking the heart stamp from the stamp set, and I am using the color Sangria to stamp inside of those circles the little heart. And then I had a little swatch of an embossed paper, and so I just tore it a little bit and added a little bit of that sandcastle brown color to the edges. And I've stamped one of the sentiments in some VersaFine black on white cardstock, and then I am using a die from my stash that says hello. This is a paper rose die, and it's called Double Chunky Hello or something like that. I will leave a link below if you're interested. So I'm just going to start adhering the pieces. So I'm adhering that little scrap of paper, and then I'm going to pop up the raccoon using some very thin foam pieces. And I've already adhered the panel to my 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 white card base. And so I am just going to finish adhering the different sentiments, and that will finish off this card. I added a few sequins, and that will complete this card. I love, love, love this raccoon. So adorable. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did like it or find it informative, please go ahead and give me a thumbs up. As always, I thank you so much for taking some time out of your day to spend with me, and I hope to catch you next time.